And we are live. I would like to welcome you all to the SMT Podcast. Today's date, November 22nd, 2019. This is the Friday version of the SMT Podcast. I hope everybody is doing well this evening if you are watching this on the live. If you are watching this on the replay, big shout out to the replay crew. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, listen to this podcast, however you are watching this, whether it is on your desktop or your netbook, your MacBook, your laptop, tablet, iPad, iPod, do they still do those? Smartphone, iPhone, Android, I don't care how you're watching it. Thank you for being here and spending some time with the SMT community and Sneed Mobile Tech. It's really good to have you guys on. I'm glad you guys could make it. We've got a dozen in the live already here. Welcome to you. If you could, on the way in, please do like this video. And of course, do say hello to the SMT as you guys pile in. We have much to talk about this evening. Before I get into the details, I do want to give out some special shout outs to some very important and supportive people. We'll do that. And then we'll talk topics. Tonight, we are going to talk about anything that was covered on the channel this week, which means T-Mobile, Sprint, merger, John Leisure possibly squeezing in here. We are also going to talk 5G. The topic of low-band 5G is hot right now. The streets are hot with low-band 5G. Hot. Looks like the audio and the video is feeding well. Fantastic. Yep, the 5G news is hot. Hot off the press. Hot like this here green tea, might I add. A little ASMR. Put a little baritone in it, you know? Good stuff. We'll talk about all of that. I think one thing that we definitely have to talk about is who is going to do 5G low band better, T-Mobile or AT&T. I think we should also talk about Verizon as well because they made the news this week adding 5G markets, expanding their 5G footprint, if you can call it that. This whole millimeter wave thing. Maybe the greatest trade-off in the history of wireless, millimeter wave. Those incredible speeds. However, poor propagation. The range so limited, the connectivity so unreliable. But it's so good in so many ways, and it's so bad in so many ways. We'll talk about Verizon's vision and what they're doing wrong and what I think they should do to correct their take on 5G. And you guys will chime in. I'll be looking at the live, getting some ideas from you guys. We'll talk, we'll have these discussions. There was a couple of people in my last couple of videos that wanted me to talk a little bit about some news with Black Friday and some deals. Maybe we'll do that. We'll talk devices that'll be going on sale. If you're looking to upgrade a device, maybe something to consider. Where are the deals at and how much money can you save? We'll talk that as well. It's going to be a big December, guys. Huge December. And 2020 will be massive as well. We've got Spectrum auctions. 5G is getting going. It's in its infancy stages. But here on Sneed Mobile Tech, you are not a bystander of 5G. You are engaged in the 5G. So when it starts happening, you already know. I'm not the type of person. I don't like to be behind one step. I like to be ahead 2 steps. And that's what we do here on the SMT. So you could have been anywhere tonight, but you are here with me on the Sneed Mobile Tech Podcast. Welcome, one and all. In the live, on replay, all the moderators, all the subscribers, all the viewers, all the commenters, welcome to you. Nintendo 504, good to see you on tonight. My Cash Games, what up? Raffy's got moderating duties tonight, y'all. Watch out. Big wrench. He swings it. It's Raffy. Thank you for being here, bruh. Raff Taylor. Tom, it is Amazing. Good to have you. Sebi, my dude, the Sebster is here. George is requesting some hold music. Maybe we could do that for the next one. But thank you all for being here tonight. We've got 21 on the live. Glad you guys can make it. Gregory, good to have you on, sir. Johns is here. Desktop for Tom. Rafi says good audio and video. Excellent. Antoine might be onto something there. Maybe they do both get it right. Maybe we can argue about who will do it better. Matt Dubb, thank you for the PayPal donation to get the week started off right. Appreciate you supporting the channel, Matt. Contributions are greatly appreciated. Thank you, man. You speak the truth. Ricky, Florida Keys is in the house. Good to have you on, Ricky. I've been having some pretty good conversations with Ricky lately. We've been emailing a little bit, talking network technologies. It's always enlightening and educational and informative conversation with Ricky. If you guys ever have any questions on wireless technologies, Ricky is the one. Now, I keep my ears and my eyes to the streets to know what's going on, but I feel like Ricky may be one of the most well-versed in network technologies and up to date. I think that's important. It's good to know the technologies, and it's even better to be up to date on what's happening and what's up and coming in the pipeline. So that's kind of where I'm at there. Ronald, supporter of the channel, a friend of the channel. Thank you for being here, sir. Michael, also a friend of the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks again, Matt. All right, so the agenda for today. I think what we'll do is we will start with 5G, the current state, and what the networks are doing. I think what we'll do is we'll talk AT&T and T-Mobile. We'll look at how they're kind of doing things. So we'll talk network technologies. We'll talk devices. We'll talk plans. We'll look at cost, what it's going to cost consumers, their investments, who's going to be more effective in how they operate the network and so on. So, and then we'll kind of sprinkle in Verizon at the end. So here's what I'm seeing, and here's my take on what I'm observing with 5G currently. Let's fast forward this. Yes, Ricky, we are still on. Let's fast forward this to December. Pretend this is December 25th. It's like 26th, 27th. The day after Christmas or whatever. And both 5G networks are live from AT&T and T-Mobile. Who's doing it right? Who's doing it better? It's hard to make that call because there still is some things that we don't know from T-Mobile that we do know about AT&T. So here's what we do know. Both AT&T and T-Mobile are doing low-band 5G in December. Both of them will have the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G for sale. One of them, T-Mobile, will have the OnePlus 7T Pro 5G McLaren Edition. We don't know pricing on that phone. We do know pricing on the Note, and it's going to be $1,300. I'm going to assume that even though the OnePlus devices are usually more entry level and the cost is more affordable, I'm not going to put a McLaren edition at $1,300. I might actually put it at $1,400 or $1,500 because I know the limited edition nature of those phones. Any McLaren edition has always been more expensive than the standard. Throw in a 5G device and you know you've got extra cost. So that's not going to be a bargain. I can't see it being cheaper than $1,300. I see it being more like $1,400 or $1,500. There is not going to be a cheap phone on the new T-Mobile network in 2019 or 20. These phones are expensive. Not many people are going to want to pay the cost. Some people will, and I might bite the bullet and purchase one of these devices or finance one or something. I don't know. For the sake of the channel, I may just do it. But there's still things we don't know about the T-Mobile low-band network that we do know about the AT&T network. So network technology-wise, let's start with the spectrum. T-Mobile is going to be running the lowest of low band, which works great when it comes to range. T-Mobile is going to have the most reachable and expansive 5G footprint because they're using 600 megahertz. It's not just the 600 megahertz that's going to work for them, though. It's going to be in conjunction with the other LTE technologies. There's going to be dynamic spectrum sharing involved. There's going to be aggregation of different LTE bands. It's not just going to be 600 megahertz 5G and that's it. There's going to be 600 megahertz LTE. There's going to be other bands that are aggregating, like band 46 and band 71. And you could have 4 or 5, 6, 7 carrier aggregation going on simultaneously. Everybody is talking about how low band 5G is going to be slow and there's no advantage, over LTE advanced. There's great advantage over LTE advanced. 5G is going to allow the Internet of Things to flourish and innovate. You can't do that with LTE. It has nothing to do with the speed and everything to do with the latency and the connectivity of the network. Speed is so overrated with 5G. Yes, the capacity is important, but for everybody continuously saying, I'm good on low band 5G, it's not fast. IoT can't innovate without 5G. It doesn't matter how fast it is. We're going to be stuck backwards without the IoT stuff, the sensors that are connected to vehicles that are going to be autonomous, the robotics that are involved. The speed is not that big of a deal. It's the latency. It's 1 millisecond, which you cannot do on any LTE network. I have never in my life seen a lower latency on LTE than like 19 milliseconds. 5G is going to bring us down to about a millisecond. It's not about speed. It's about other stuff too. Everybody's just stuck in speed. It's short-sightedness. There's more to it. So even though T-Mobile is going to be using low band and AT&T, it's just going to be advanced LTE speeds. It's not just the speed. It's the latency too. But see, these people having these conversations, the ones in the comment section talking about, it's not fast. It's not just about that. But you can't talk to these people because they ain't hearing you. I'm sitting there talking latency. They don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't click in. So I'm sitting there talking to people about latency, and all they care about is download speed. Even though their carrier only restricts them to 2 to 3 megabits per second for video, but they want to talk about 200 and 300 megabits per second. What am I supposed to do? We're stuck having that conversation. So I don't care that we're only going to see 300 megabits per second, 400 megabits per second. I don't care. I'm fine with that. I love the concept of 1 millisecond latency. I love the idea of low ping. I love the idea of 0% packet loss. I love the reliability. I love the capacity. The fact that the network won't ever bottom out. So bring it on. I don't care. Low band, no, or mid band or whatever. Bring on the 5G. Okay, so T-Mobile's using 600 megahertz low band 5G. Fantastic. All they say is national. We don't know if that's going to be like 50 markets, 100 markets, whatever. We don't know. We'll find out in December 6th. AT&T, on the other hand, what's up, Excalibur? AT&T, on the other hand, is not going to be using spectrum that low. AT&T is going to be using 850 megahertz spectrum, which is higher frequency than 600 megahertz. That means two things. Number one, it won't propagate as well. It's going to be higher frequency, so it won't travel as far. Not going to be a huge difference. It's not going to be a deal breaker, but it's still just not up to par with 600 megahertz when it comes to range. But because of its higher frequency, It is going to have much faster capacity and speeds. Much faster speeds, much higher capacity. What that's going to do is that's going to allow AT&T to have faster theoretical speeds. And of course, that's good. So you've got a balance, I think. A little bit higher capacity, a little bit higher speeds, just doesn't travel as far. But AT&T has already told us that they are getting 5G low band to propagate 2 miles. If you don't mind, I would love to, ask you guys in the live chat. I just want to see you guys either type the letter 1 for yes or 0 for no. 1 for yes, 0 for no. Is 2 mile propagation good enough between you and a cell phone tower? So you get a 5G device, you live in a 5G market, and your nearest tower is 2 miles away, and it gives you 5G. 1, if it's a yes, you like that, you're fine with that. 0, if that's a no, if 2 miles is not enough. In my humble opinion, to me, it's a go. It's a yes. 2 miles is enough. 850 megahertz 5G will connect up to 2 miles in propagation. 2 miles. It takes me about 12 or 13 minutes to run 2 miles. That's how far 2 miles is. I see people are typing ones. Ronald is typing 0. I see a lot of ones, though. A lot of people are thinking to themselves, 1 works. Right? That's a yes. That's a go. 2 miles is good enough. So I know that 600 megahertz is theoretically better, will give a better range, but 850 megahertz is a go. That will work for AT&T. And again, both are going to be utilizing carrier aggregation. They'll be working simultaneously with LTE and 5G. Pete, we are talking about AT&T's 5G. Their low band will be through 850 megahertz. So T-Mobile will have a little bit better range, but they won't have the capacity and speed that the 850 megahertz does. I see you, Martin. Now, devices, T-Mobile is going to offer 2, the Note 10 Plus 5G or the OnePlus 7 Pro T 5G McLaren. They're all going to be expensive. Pick your poison. AT&T is going to have 1 phone, the Note 10 Plus 5G, $1,300. All right, plans. T-Mobile has indicated that they will not separate 5G. They are going 5G for all. There is no charge for T-Mobile's 5G. To access AT&T's low-band 5G, you have to have one of the 2 premium plans. Here's what I have to say about that. That's not bad. I thought it was going to be worse. I thought AT&T was going to do a stupid add-on like Verizon. I thought AT&T was going to do something like Sprint, making a separate premium plan for 5G. AT&T did not. They just told you, if you want low-band 5G access, you just need to have one of the 2 premium options of our unlimited LTE data plans. That would be 1 line at $75, or for the most premium elite plan, $85. And you would have access to the low-band 5G. Nationwide, whenever any market gets it, you would have access to it. Not as bad as I thought AT&T was going to do it. I thought it was going to be worse. I thought AT&T was going to hit us with a premium add-on fee, something like what we saw with Verizon. And they did not. Pleasantly surprised. Thought that was coming. It did not. So T-Mobile's doing it the best for consumers. No additional cost for now. What's up, Jamaal? Good to have you on. And that's good news. T-Mobile not adding a premium charge. Not even making a separate plan, really. They're saying that, any plan could access 5G, 5G for all. So that's the best case scenario. AT&T is like, well, we'll give you 5G access on the low band, but you just got to make sure you have one of our premium plans. Fine. Verizon saying up $10 add-on. We'll waive it if you have this plan or this plan temporarily or for now, whatever they end up doing. And Sprint's got a separate plan for 5G. So that's how they're separating and pricing. I don't want to really talk too much about AT&T millimeter wave because it's enterprise only. And there's nobody really on the channel here, subscriber, viewer. I mean, there's just probably a minority of you that are even considering being an enterprise customer on T-Mobile for 5G. Pete, you're right. I do. I do have a 5G plan. Any T-Mobile customer does. Now, in terms of effectiveness, AT&T is going to have a strong 5G network. There's just no way to slice it and say otherwise. They're going to have low-band 5G. They'll be doing mid-band probably next year moving forward. They've got millimeter wave for enterprise, certain locations, Netgear, Nighthawk, all that whole thing. They've got all their bases covered. So starting in December, T-Mobile and AT&T are rolling out this low-band 5G, getting customers connected to it, and innovation can take place. It's good to see the movement towards the future of networks. Happy to see that. Now, Verizon, we got to throw shade at them. We have to. Verizon, which added 5G cities this week, they added 3. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They added Boston, Massachusetts. And one more. Why am I drawing a blank on this one? Who else did they add? They added one more. Houston, Texas. That's who they added. So they added millimeter wave to 3 cities. They've bolstered the network with 5G in those markets, but they've also done a lot of LTE upgrades. So here's the thing, and here's what Verizon is not getting. Verizon is basically telling you networks that are not millimeter wave are not fast. They're just advanced LTE. But what they're not telling you is Verizon's LTE will never get a low enough ping to be considered worthy to replace 5G. I would rather have 300 megabits per second on 5G with 1 millisecond latency than 800 megabits per second LTE with 25 millisecond latency. They'll never have true 5G they'll never have 5G speeds through their LTE with the same latency to match 5G. But that's what they're going to say. They're going to say, "Oh, you don't need low band. Look, our LTE goes faster, but your LTE doesn't do the ping. Your LTE doesn't have the latency that 5G does." So even though T-Mobile is going to have 200 and 300 megabits per second with their 5G, they're going to have 1 millisecond ping. Verizon's ping is going to be 20 and 30 milliseconds, even though their upload will be 400 or 500 megabits per second on LTE. So they're trying to feed you this nonsense that what you need and what you don't need. But why would you let a company dictate what you need and don't need? You want what you want, and you're going to pay for what you think you deserve and what you're paying for. So that's my take on it. I hear Yasmin coming. Hi, Yasmin.
I just come back for school and I go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, was it fun? Watch your foot. Watch your foot. Watch your foot.
Out of you.
Okay.
Out of.
I got Yasmin. She's saying hi. She just got back from school.
I go to Chuck E. Cheese.
And she went to Chuck E. Cheese.
I go to the dead too.
Mm-hmm. Don't pick your nose.
I'm
Stop.
going to that.
No. Stop.
I'm going to let you.
Okay. You gonna go? Okay. I'll see you in a little bit, okay? I'll come upstairs. I gotta do this video.
The snack and apple and drink karaoke.
Okay.
Because I love it.
Yep, Sneed number 1 dad, huh? No, they went to Chuck E. Cheese after school and stuff, you know. I don't even remember where I was. Anyways. All right. So Verizon's missing that point. It's not just about speeds, it's about the latency too. It's about the real 5G access. Yasmin, what?
I didn't give you a gift.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you. That's right. Anyways, so that's what's kind of going on with the 5G current state of things. I like what AT&T is doing. I like what T-Mobile is doing with 5G, getting things going, getting locations covered, getting the access. The patrons already have access to the video. I've already done an AT&T low band 5G explained video. All the network technologies, the spectrum, the locations, how many markets are going to have it. Thanks, Ricky. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. How many markets are going to have it? How many markets moving forward in half one of 2020? I got it all in there. So if you guys want to support the SMT, Felix, I'm doing well, man. How are you? Good to have you on. If you guys want to support the SMT Productions, check out the Patreon page. I've got that in the description box. There's also, the Discord as well. You can check that out. Got a good community there. Merger. Shall we? Let's talk merger. T-Mobile and Sprint merger. The video that I did yesterday came out very late in the evening because I had to do a couple of things with this news. Number one, the news broke at about 5 or 6 p.m. I'm Eastern, right? I'm Eastern Standard Time. For me, when news comes out at 5 and 6 p.m., I need about an hour to synthesize it, right? Thanks, Ronald. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the donation. Man, I hope I am the number one dad. I'd love to be number one dad. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you for always supporting me and supporting the channel and supporting Yasmin. Thank you. What I was saying about the merger. So the news comes out 5, 6 o'clock. I just upload a video, something totally different, right? And then, thanks, Excalibur. You too, bro. Appreciate you. The news comes out that the DOJ makes a request to the judge. Well, not the judge of the case, a magistrate who resides in the Manhattan courts where the T-Mobile and Sprint merger case is going to be heard. The DOJ moves to have Glenn Pomerantz and his testimony and his information from the failed merger from 2011. They move to have that denied, right? To have it removed or rejected. Well, the judge says, no, we're going to let it be presented. It's fair game. If you wanted to block it, if you wanted to reject it, if you wanted it out of this, why didn't you do this in April when you knew Glenn Pomerantz's information and was going to be involved? To me, that reeks of some shadiness, but it's what we see in politics. So it's not something we haven't seen before. But clearly, being that this is in Letitia James, State Attorney General of New York, it is in her backyard. This is her country. This is her territory. These are her judges. This is to her advantage. So the magistrate said, no, we're not going to reject it. It's getting presented at court. This digs deeply into the failed merger with AT&T in 2011 with T-Mobile. I definitely encourage you guys to check out my video, the history of the failed 2011 T-Mobile and AT&T merger. Rafi, if you can pull it up, that would be great. If not, no problem. People, if you could search around for it, it's a very interesting video. I cover all the details from that merger. Very insightful on what's going on currently and how this is very different. So check that out. But yeah, that testimony is going to be at court December 9th. It's not the end of the world. In fact, I almost to a point, like if I was going to emphasize something, that's what we would expect. We would expect a New York court to side with the merger block, whatever is going to be helping them. So to me, it's not a big deal. It's what I would expect. Now everybody is like up in their arms. Oh, the merger, it's bad. It's going to fail and all this. Well, not really. Not necessarily. And it's not the end of the world either way. I just feel like, you got to keep perspective in this whole thing. It's politics, So we got politics happening in the merger. I want to do some quick shout outs. I want to do some shout outs for the patrons over on the Patreon, those that have supported me for, since I first started the Patreon. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give shout outs to individuals that are patrons that have supported the SMT, those that have been with me riding for a long time. Pete, one of the OGs, I think Pete is the longest standing patron. He's been supporting me for a while. So Pete, and then we've got another tier of guys that have been with me like 1 month after Pete. So we got Mark G, Jamaal, and Dave B. Thank you guys for your support. We also have Joeseph, Breon, Madbirds, and Martin. You guys have also supported me for a long time. Thank you. Kind of, a group that has been around a while. We have Matt Dubb, Justin, Murad, George, Ken, and Cesar. Thank you guys for supporting me. Then we have Jonathan, Ronald, Michael, and Carlos. Thank you again for your continued support. And some of the newer, more recent ads, maybe just a month or 2 or 3. We have MT Houston, Texas, John, Therald, Siova, and the newest member, Dan. Thank you guys for supporting the SMT. And you guys have to understand, by all means, you don't have to donate. You don't have to be a patron. It's just something that I, in my goals to do some, to help support my daughter's education. I'm thinking about her future. It's just a little something extra I'm doing. There's nobody's obligated to donate. They're appreciated, but there is no obligation to do so. I appreciate you guys watching my videos, liking them, and sharing them. You can, actively support the channel that way. Donations are great, and I appreciate them very much, but they are not an obligation. You are not required to donate. But if you do, thank you. And I appreciate those thoughts and considerations. But the shares, the likes, blasting it on your Twitter, putting it up on your Facebook wall, smack dabbing it on your IG. I do appreciate it very much. Hey, I'm glad to help, Hideka. I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and you guys are an amazing community, and I thank you guys. Like I said, it's no requirement at all. Everybody's in a different position in life, and there's no obligation. Just you guys being here supporting me is enough for sure. Black Friday deals. There was somebody who was asking me about Black Friday deals, so I got some for you, brother. Hopefully that the people that wanted more Black Friday deals, hopefully they are watching. These deals are from Best Buy. Best Buy is doing TVs, electronics, MacBooks, all types of goodies, smartphones. Tons of stuff is going to be on sale. If you're looking for electronics, Best Buy may have you covered, okay? So here's what they've got. If you are looking for a smartphone, Best Buy's got tons for you. They're doing $100 off a Pixel 3a. If you activate it with a carrier, they'll take another $50 off. They're doing $300 off the Pixel 3 and 3 XL. I know that's last year's model, but I actually like last year's model better than this year's model. The 4 and 4 XL have problems. If you buy the Note 10, Note 10 Plus, or the Note 10 Plus 5G, the S10, S10 Plus, you can get up to $750 off, $400 to $500 instant with activation, up to $250 on a trade-in if you activate with Verizon, Sprint, or AT&T. So if you're going to go through a carrier, you're going to save tons of money. Just keep in mind they're going to do bill credits. Just keep in mind you're going to be locked in on that device for a couple years. So just be mindful of the details. They are doing an additional $200 off with activations on unlocked devices with no carriers. They're doing $300 off the Pixel 4 and 4 XL if you activate through Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon. They're also doing $300 off on the S10e if you activate through Verizon, AT&T, or Sprint. Notice T-Mobile's not on there. T-Mobile got their own deals. I covered that in a video yesterday, so check that out. AT&T's got a killer deal going on, up to $950 off with activations and a trade-in. They didn't mention any phones, but I'm guessing it's the flagships, so that would be like iPhones, Galaxies. Sprint's got a couple of good lease deals. Obviously, the merger is looming. Who cares what you end up doing with your phone? Sprint S10e, $5 a month with a new activation. The Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, $15 a month with a new activation. Yeah, Pete. The Google Store's got deals on the Pixels too. I was going to say I actually recommend buying Pixels from the Google Store. Best way to go, in my opinion. That's just me. That's what I would do. So those are some deals. So hopefully whoever was interested in those deals, you were watching. So that would be good. Last little bit to talk about is December. December is going to be a huge month for the wireless providers. December, we've got AT&T doing 5G. We've got T-Mobile doing 5G. Both are doing low band. We've got devices coming out. We've got spectrum auctions with the FCC. A lot of things that have been going on for 2019 are now moving towards 2020. We're going to start to see some action. So we're excited for that. All right, Pete. So what you got to do, it's why T-Mobile found success. That's the name of the video. There's like a picture of John wearing pink shoes and a pink shirt. Maybe that's what it is. What's up, Stace? Good to have you on. See, the thing is, Tom, that's the only thing I'm going to say about the T-Mobile 5G rollout is we don't know what they mean by national. Do they legit mean that every market is going to have 5G? I doubt it seriously. T-Mobile has 5G here in Cleveland, but it's millimeter wave. I haven't heard anything about Cleveland and 5G for low band. We don't know that stuff. What's up, Nelson? Good to have you on, man. Thanks for stopping by. And that's what I say, like, with AT&T, we know exactly the 5 cities that are going to have 5G in December. And we even know the names of the cities that are going to be launched in half one of 2020. We don't have those answers from T-Mobile. Usually, we know more about what T-Mobile's doing when they declare it. We don't know everything we need to know, actually. Every major city should have it. We'll see. Haven't seen it. Not the low band, just the millimeter wave. Hopefully we get some maps pretty soon. Wasn't that what the 5G is for, Landon? So we'll see what they bring. We'll see what December brings. All right, so my goal was to be on here for an hour. We're only about 38 minutes in. We have plenty of time. If you guys want to discuss topics, if you guys want to present it, you know, the Sneed Mobile Tech channel is all about the people. You are more than welcome to hit me in the live chat comment section for those that are watching on the replay. Let's have some discussions. Let's get it going in the live. T-Mobile said 5,000 cities were going to be lit up, whatever that is. Yeah, so, I mean, 5,000 cities is a tremendous number. Does that mean every major market plus every mid-market and then several small mid-size markets? You know, I don't know. What's up, GS? Let me guess wherever 600 megahertz at, right? Yeah, so, but they're going to have to, you got to be careful with this. There's going to be 600 megahertz spectrum that's allocated for LTE, and there's going to be a concentration, a sliver, that's going to be allocated for 5G. I don't know how they're going to allocate it. Are they going to go 10 megahertz LTE and then 20 megahertz 5G? I don't know. Depends on how many people start buying these 5G phones. It would actually probably make more sense to just go 10 megahertz 5G and maybe double up your megahertz for the LTE for now, right? Because most people are going to have LTE phones for the next year or two. A lot of people say we won't have 50% of U.S. customers with a 5G phone until 2023. Well, that's 3 years from now. you know. T-Mobile 5G latency is supposed to be sub 10 milliseconds. Some people are saying sub 5 milliseconds. I haven't seen the speed test on low band, so I couldn't tell you. But if rumors are true, it's supposed to be less than like 10% or less than 15% of LTE latency, average LTE latency. Man, you know what, Mikey? Mikey Tech Review, you know how it goes, man. YouTube notification system is busted. Sign me out of the chat. What's going on? What's up, Quentin? Verizon, AT&T, you can pay it off anytime through the carrier. Best IOs. You could pay it off anytime, but you're still locked in for 2 years. If they're doing bill credits, right? If you're just financing a phone straight up, fine. But if you've got bill credits, you got to wait out the 2 years. Pete's getting a 5G phone in 2020. All right, Nintendo 504 is going to wait for a 5G iPhone. Sub 5. Michael, thanks, man. Appreciate you supporting me on the Patreon. So newest member. Yep, got the notification. I got a notification. I don't know. But thank you for joining the Patreon, Michael. Appreciate you, man. And thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you're appreciating the content. It's good to have your support, and thanks for being a part of the community. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you. Some markets only can do 5 megahertz 5G and 5 megahertz LTE. Yeah, I mean, if the market is only doing 10 megahertz of 600 megahertz, right, then that would be the way you have to do it. Family Dad, there is going to be 2 5G devices on T-Mobile. One will be the Note 10 Plus 5G. The other will be the OnePlus 7T Pro 5G McLaren Edition. And they'll be available in December. We're here on December 6th. Something tells me we'll also have a pre-order date announced like next week or the week after. Waiting to upgrade from Xena. Waiting to upgrade to a 5G iPhone. If Qualcomm can get something together for Apple, you might see it in 2020. If it's going to be Apple only, we may not see it until 2021. So 5G is a laughing joke. I would not spend more than $60 on a phone. That's so, Michael, you and 5G phone prices are not friends. Martin, thanks for the donation, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, man. Very kind of you. Thank you for the generous donation. Thank you. Hope an A-series phone from Samsung comes with 5G next year for the US. Even an entry level or a mid-ranger from Samsung that's 5G, you got to imagine it's still going to be like $700-800, right? Because like if an A-series phone is $300, most of these 5G devices are about $300 more than their LTE only counterparts. So if typically flagships are $800, $900, $1,000, and mid-rangers are typically $300 or $400, we could see $700 and $800 mid-rangers, right? I really think that the T-Mobile will come out with a 5G variant of the iPhone 11 Pro Max exclusively only to T-Mobile. It wouldn't be an iPhone 11 Pro. Like those devices have already come out in 2019. It's going to be like the iPhone 12 or whatever, 11S, whatever they end up calling it. But it sounds like there should be a 5G device for 2020 from Apple. I'm hearing 3. Maybe the smaller phone, maybe the bigger phone, and maybe something else. I don't know. George, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you supporting This Means College Fund. Appreciate you supporting the future education of the little one. Thanks, Georgie. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. And thanks for supporting the Patreon as well. Thanks again. Very generous of you, and you are very kind. I know a carrier that sells the Fold for $80 a month. And that's just the phone, right? Then you throw in like the monthly service, right? For you're looking at what? $160 on AT&T for one line. Might as well get the elite plan from AT&T since other plans still have streaming cap at 480p. Well, for some people, they tell me 480p is enough. You're going to tell them to get a more expensive plan? I mean, the elite's what, $85? The step down is 75 and the other one's 65, like that's substantial, right? $20 a month. You do that over the course of 5-6 months, that stuff starts adding up. We're talking over $240. $450, but we'll see. Oh, no teaching fees, man. Just glad to help. Glad to inform. What modem? What you mean, Ronald? Family Death says, how long before a 5G phone comes out under 500, 400? I don't know, man. It's really hard to call, Family Dad. I mean, most of them are at 1,300 right now. Mid-rangers that are about $400 right now without 5G. I could see those phones being about 700-800. I don't know. I don't see it anytime soon. Maybe not for at least a couple of years. Maybe 3 years. For anybody who's on a prepaid line, for anybody who is on a tight budget or limited income, 5G is out of reach. It's too early in the game. It's too expensive. Early adopter problems. It's just pricey right now. So, Landon, what you want to do is maybe consider trying to figure out what is that on a conversion, whatever that costs in China. You know what I'm saying? I see T-Mobile enabling most of the Band 71 for 5G, but not anytime soon. They need Band 71 for LTE more than anything. AT&T is cheaper, $60 a month, and the one is charging. Right. 5G under 5, 2023. Probably. When do you think T-Mobile will change their soft cap? Well, what if they don't? What if they don't change their soft cap? Like a 50 gigs? I don't know. I mean, do you see any Un-carrier moves happening soon? T-Mobile does not have a clue of what they're doing with 5G until the merger is completed with Wells. I actually disagree, Michael. I think their plan is to get 5G rolled out nationally and get people covered with it and take advantage of the newer network technology. The only thing that could prevent T-Mobile from really flourishing with 5G is going to be the merger, like you said. That's going to give them some really fast 5G. Like that will essentially double and possibly triple their 5G speeds with the 2.5 gigahertz. So I think you're right in that respect. But to say they don't have a clue, I mean, what they're doing with the merger proves that they have a clue. The merger gives them 54 million subscribers, greatly changes their market share, and gives them probably the most important mid-band spectrum that is available on the market. And it's not even available. It's been locked up with Sprint. The link in the Discord is bad. I wonder what happened there. Discord, it's automatic. It just pops up from a bot. So the iPhone 11, there's no Intel 5G model. Right. Yeah. There's no iPhone 11 5G model currently, and there won't be one in the future. It's possible we see a Qualcomm 5G modem in 2020. That's possible. I don't want to rule it out, really. Especially with T-Mobile and AT&T making a low-band network now. So to me, this is what AT&T was waiting for. This is what Apple is waiting for. Do we have carriers with 5G that people can use? Once everyone who's a customer T-Mobile and they have 5G phones who will still have a 4G LTE phone, I think will be faster than what. Yeah, it'll be faster. They'll continue to upgrade LTE. LTE is not going anywhere. LTE is going to be around for another 15 years, right? I mean, we still have 3G in parts of this country, right? And there's still parts that don't have it. So I go over 50 gigs. I'm glad I have a soft cap on my tablet line. Checked, and it is an A50. It's the A90, and it goes for 500. Okay, so that would be an entry-level 5G phone coming in at about $600. Cheapest way to get 5G. Scott says I get 80 down, 30 up out of my T-Mobile 4G LTE cell spot. It's pretty good. Good speeds. LTE should last as long as 3G is. Maybe longer, Pete, because LTE is a better technology than 3G. 3G never really gave us the data throughput we needed for video task, right? I mean, how many countries in the world are able to really provide good viewing pleasure through video streaming on 3G? Very few countries can do that. I hear some countries are getting like 3 to 5 megabits per second on 3G. That's pretty impressive. And people are getting video that way, but it's really rare. I mean, I've never seen more than 1 or 2 megabits per second on 3G in the US. So hard to do. I think we're going to start to see budget level, or I shouldn't say budget, I should say mid-range 5G phones by the end of next year. So 5G phones that'll be under $1,000. I think we'll start to see those. I think people are going to be willing to try those out. I don't think people are willing to pay $1,300 for 5G phones. Very small minorities. Myself, I'm the type of person who would, only probably because of the channel. I don't think I'm ready to just pull the plug on a $1,300 device. I'd like to see a mid-ranger first, get in under $1,000. That's kind of what I would want to see. I don't know if I'm ready to spend $1,300 on a 5G device. I don't know. Whoever's in the live, you guys tell me. 0 for no, 1 for yes. If low-band LTE, or excuse me, if low-band 5G comes to your market, are you going to spend $1,300 for a 5G device in 2020? 0 for no, 1 for yes. I just want to get the pulse of the people because me personally, I don't want to spend $1,300 on a 5G phone if I don't have to. I want to hold off. I want to see mid-rangers come in between 800 and 1,000. That's crazy. That's mid-range 5G. Right? That's just nuts. I don't know. I don't know how many people are willing to do it. All right, so let's see what you guys are. Scott, 1,300 for a low band device. Landon says no. John says no. Jesse says no. Arshan says no. Black Knight says yes. He's ready to start dabbling in 5G. Jamaal says yes. He's ready to start dabbling in 5G. Family Dad says no. Matt Dub says no. Carl says no. Willing to do what I gotta drink. Pete would. I would. Martin says yes, he would. Martin's ready to get into 5G. Let's get those likes up on the video, y'all. If you could, please like it. Pete says no. Ronald's waiting 1 more year. So maybe 2021. If 4G LTE is a GSM technology, why is it that GSM unlocked devices from other carriers are not compatible on Sprint's network? It's not that 4G LTE is a GSM technology. LTE is derived from an original GSM technology, but it's not a GSM technology itself. It's built on a 4G standard. LTE has never been a GSM technology the way that we currently use it today. The band compatibility you're talking about with Sprint, there's 3 bands that Sprint uses for LTE. There's band 25, band 26, and band 41. It's irrelevant if the device you're trying to use is GSM or CDMA. It's the LTE bands that need to be compatible for LTE connectivity. The problem with Sprint's network is their LTE is not enough. You need their 3G services. You need their CDMA coverage. They still rely heavily upon CDMA nationally. Take Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. They're mostly all LTE at this point. So you just need LTE bands for them and you're good. No, from Stacy. Robert says no. Mikey says yes. He'll bite the bullet and go 5G. Corey's going 5G early. Nintendo 504 is going 5G early. And Stacy, that's going to be one of those growing pains, right? We're going to see those modems really chewing up the battery. Our battery is going to be big enough. Are they going to be able to dissipate heat? Romeo, hit 9 for hell to the nah. Yeah, hit 9 for hell to the nah. I would if I could. And it's hard to get that money, right? Sean, I don't know, man. Everybody's saying that the notifications didn't go out. I don't know what to do about YouTube's notification. Sean, if it's not too much trouble, I would highly encourage you to sign up on our page on our Discord server. And there's an announcement bot that literally pushes out YouTube announcements every time I upload a video or start a live stream. You don't have to like get involved with the community or anything. You don't have to, chit chat in the community servers or anything. Just join the Discord, stay logged in, and you'll be the first one to know and be notified when videos are uploaded. So get on the Discord for anybody who's having trouble with YouTube notifications. The Discord gets the notifications first, always. Maverick says 0 down, 0 activation fees, 0 monthly, credits of 50 monthly towards the device, then yes. Other than that, no more than 10 to 15 monthly or no. I mean, Maverick, you're really restricting yourself to some phones. Yeah, you're obviously it's way out of your price range. Hell to the no, huh, Romeo? Hey, you got it, Michael. No problem, man. Glad to help. Yeah, got the Sneed Tech channel, Twitter page, the Twitter handle, Sneed Tech. True. Got to get the networks going. It's really accurate. It's also instant on Discord. That's Landon. I was saying for people who don't want to have all these extra community interactions, you already got Twitter, you got Instagram. Don't join the Discord thinking you have to get all crazy and get involved. Just join the Discord so you get the notifications on time from the YouTube videos. Oh man, you ain't lying, Mikey. It's been all day. It's been a nightmare for a while. The notification system just hasn't been good. From Michael, Neville Ray a year ago said 5G would use very little battery. But now that we have 5G, you know what? Honestly, Michael, for him to say that, like that totally disqualifies his opinions now in my book. For anybody to come out and say that publicly, like what were they thinking? 5G battery life today isn't great. Honestly, the 4G and LTE technologies drain the battery heavily. Your phone is just sitting there. You're not even using it, right? And the battery drains. Androids just tend to do that. I think the radio standby on Androids is just awful. They're good when they're in use. They're pretty accurate as long as your signal isn't low and it's always searching. But 5G is going to be a nightmare, and we knew that. We knew it from the initial testing. I don't know what he was thinking. You think I should have it, though? All right, man. We'll bite the bullet. We'll spend the money. Pete doesn't usually join me on Fridays. He usually does the Sunday thing. And this Sunday, we should have a really good show. Black Knight, I think you're right about that. I think 5G is really going to need the graphene battery tech. The graphene battery tech is going to give us an amazing increase in capacity. So the battery sizes will be much better, much bigger. I think also it's going to give us, that rapid charging. So when a battery does die, can we get 50% on a massive battery in 10 minutes? Can we get full charge in less than 30 minutes on a massive battery? That's what we need, right? We want to be able to charge our phones fast and fully in a short amount of time and get that full capacity. Is the A20 on a Samsung Exynos chip? because I doubt it's on a Qualcomm chip. They don't do very well with standby, in my opinion, my experience. Yeah, the handoff is a pain. I've never liked that standby and the switching and the searching. It's a pain. And Michael, as objective customers, those that are here on the channel, those subscribed, those that, look at all these network updates and follow all these, technology improvements, it is just hype. You're right. We know better. And see, Landon, that's one of those things where I feel like Samsung does a really good job of their chipsets. They seem to do better at certain things. Maybe the Exynos chips are not as strong as Qualcomm's, but they're strong enough. And they do offer better battery life in my experience, and they don't get as hot as the Qualcomm chips. That's another thing that you got to consider, right? Even the carrier aggregation works better? Sheesh. I always thought like Qualcomm made the best chips because the Intel ones are a nightmare. MediaTek is just straight garbage. I do like the Helio chips. Is it Helio? Is that what Huawei does? I feel like Huawei does the Helio chipsets. I like those chipsets based on their benchmarks, based on the testing that I see, and based on the usage of some of these like Mate devices and these P30 Pros and all this other stuff. It looks like Huawei makes a really good processor. I would love to see those processors in devices here. But there's this China trade war thing, and it's like, we can't get more competition in the manufacturing space. We're kind of stuck with silicone from Qualcomm, and that's pretty much it. I would love to see Samsung doing stuff here with Exynos. I would love to see Qualcomm have competition, have to deal with Huawei and other contributors, with chips. And then it's hard to import devices and get them to work on US networks. Like you can import all types of Honor phones and all types of Asus Rogue phones. And it's like, how do I get my LTE connected? It's going to be basically some LTE, a whole lot of 3G, and then a bunch of Wi-Fi, right? Green tea. Very good. LG Stylo Plus has 2K irrigation on the 450, but that never worked for T-Mobile. Must have been some firmware issue, 60-minute mark? Yeah. Yeah, that was the plan, Rafi. The goal was to be on for an hour. We did it. So the Samsung Galaxy S11, it looks like there's going to be like 5 versions of that phone. I don't know what Samsung is doing there. Crazy. If you need a solution to a phone battery that goes low fast, buy yourself a battery pack like a portable charger. But is that really a solution, Michael? I feel like it's a Band-Aid. You know what I mean? Buying an extra battery and carrying it around and having to charge that as well as charge your phone. I don't know, man. To me, those portable battery packs are a last resort. It should not be like plan A. It should be a plan B and preferably a plan C. To me, not only should a phone charge fast, which a lot of the phones now are charging fast. Most phones are power delivery compatible with USB-C. Some of them even have proprietary solutions like Warp Charge and Dash Charge from OnePlus, as well as Motorola's TurboCharge. They charge really, really fast. But I think we are in need of a different technology for our batteries. The graphene is showing a lot of promise. That's going to be the next horizon with battery tech. The capacities are going to be massive, and the batteries themselves will charge really quickly. Give me that all day. A portable battery pack is it's a Band-Aid at best. I mean, it works. It's a solution as a last resort, in my opinion. High silicon, okay. MediaTek is so whatever so it's the Kirin chip. That's what it is. Huawei does the Kirin series. Those are the ones that seem to, do the most for me when I'm looking at other processors who is able to compete with Qualcomm. I see them as a legitimate competitor. Hey, Sean, welcome to the community, man. And like I said, bro, you know, just use the notifications to your advantage. You don't have to worry about being on another community and getting involved if you don't want to be and, chit-chatting with anybody. You don't have to do any of that. But we welcome you as always with open arms. And if you decide you want to stick around and hang out and chat sometimes, it's good to have you on. Friends, that's a quote from the SMT. Friends don't let friends buy MediaTek. But the Kirin processors that Huawei makes are awesome, you know. And Pete, the problem with the MediaTek processors is there's no support. It seems like any phone that has a MediaTek processor never gets an update. It never gets a software update, never gets a firmware update. The compatibilities are limited. It's a pain. I mean, Qualcomm's bad enough already, right? You can only imagine how much worse MediaTek is. And XNO, same thing. You know, really the only phone you can count on for one major update or two major updates is a Galaxy flagship. You don't know when you're going to get an LG update. I mean, you'll get one, but you don't know when. OnePlus is kicking butt with updates. Google's the best with updates when it comes to Android devices, right? With the Google phones. Kirin is the chip. Yeah. Yeah. I'm all for those. I think those are great devices. Any device, the Huawei Mate series, the P series, they seem to be really cooking with gas. They're the only things truly competing with what Qualcomm is doing. And in some ways, I think they're better. And Exynos is a competitor, but not here in the US. Graphene batteries will be more revolutionary than wireless industry as a whole. Graphene batteries for cars. Yeah. The application is going to be across the board, which will be good to see. My opinion, everyone should have a battery pack, but honestly, I don't want to be in a situation where one is required. It's, you know what, Stacy, that's right on. I don't think anybody should have to do it. Like I said, I see it as a last resort. I don't see it as a true solution carrying around a battery pack. To have one that's substantially sized, they're also big. I mean, they're taking up less space now, but if I look at my 2014 battery pack, it's so thick and heavy. It's like, I don't want to carry it around. I'd rather just charge my phone for 15, 20 minutes at a time, 3 or 4 times a day. Every chance I try to get it connected to like a 45-watt charger for like 20 minutes, it starts to cook and get hot and I take it off. Tech for your needs. Good to have you on, bro. Glad you could stop by tonight. Battery for solar system. Right. All right. The direction of the conversation is fun. It's been a blast. I've enjoyed my time here tonight. I hope you guys have too. Hopefully you've enjoyed the conversation and you've found yourself a little bit more informed. Power generator around. Yeah, Zena. I don't like, if I had to put a percentage on who's going to buy a 5G phone for $1,300, it's got to be less than 10% of the general population. I just don't think many people will. So I agree with you. 700 series processors kept it up to the 800. Like the Qualcomm Snapdragon 710, they say it's comparable to the Snapdragon 835. I don't know, but they say it's supposed to be better on battery. I don't know. Thanks, Ref. Appreciate you. Right. All right, guys. So my goal was to be on here for an hour. We're at like an hour and 10 minutes. Hopefully you found some of the information on here helpful and informative. I thought we had some good conversations. For those of you just coming in, or if you haven't done so yet, please do like this video, share it. That would be a great way to help the channel out. If you've got a social media platform like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, please do share it by all means. That would help the channel out tremendously. There's ways to interact with the SMT communities with the Discord server. If you want to get those notifications sent to you when YouTube doesn't get notifications sent out, it seems like Discord does a better job of sending out YouTube notifications than YouTube does. So consider joining the Discord for those notifications. Also, there's the Patreon page. Looks like we've added a couple new patrons, so welcome to them, and thank you guys for joining the community. I'm doing tons more content on the Patreon than ever. I really do enjoy the platform. So I try to give you guys regular videos on the YouTube, I'm doing a lot with the Patreon. Consider joining there. We do have a podcast on Sunday. Pete will be joining us. I think Ricky Florida Keys is going to be coming on, so we're excited to have him on. That should be fun. Other than that, I've got tons of content I'm working on. I've got several videos that are already uploaded that just aren't public yet, and they're ready to get going. They will be early release to patrons. Some of them are Patreon exclusive, so check those things out. Other than that, a lot of things going on in wireless. Keep it tuned, guys. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Stuff is going to be flying fast moving into December. 2020 is going to be massive. We've got tons to talk about, lots of video and content to make. I'm excited. And I'm going to have a lot more time moving into December for the channel. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, I want to give some shout outs. Big shout out to the patrons. Big shout outs to the Discord community. Big shout out to Pete and Rafi for moderating tonight. Big shout out to all that joined in the live chat. You know, Maverick, Gregory, Sebi, Tom, Michael, Ronald, Landon, MT Houston, Texas, Stacy, Excalibur, Zena, anybody who participated today in the conversations. Michael, if I missed you, Black Knight, you know, John, everybody that was here tonight, Mikey Tech Reviews, thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed your time and you enjoyed the conversation. It was a pleasure to have you, and it was a pleasure to be on with you guys. If you haven't done so already, please do like this video. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell. Join the Discord to get notifications first. I know, crazy. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Big shout out to the replay crew. Matt Dub, thank you for supporting the channel with the super chats. Gregory, I really enjoyed it tonight. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Maybe we'll see you on Sunday. I've got an upload tomorrow. Look forward to that. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.